Welcome to the channel where it's okay to be an average Joe. My name is Zach. This is Zach of all trades.
All right, welcome back. It's been a hot minute, but we're doing this again, the podcast. And of course, as you have seen in the title, we are talking about the 2.5 booster. Joined with me here today is, of course, the host from last time, NolifeJohnny. We're doing it together again. And so, Johnny, how have you been?
Been great. And before we dive in, I just wanted to give a huge thank to Zach for having me back on his channel for another awesome podcast type discussion.
Yeah,
it's always a blast chatting with you. And if you guys haven't checked out his channel already, please do so. He makes some very nice and detailed content, especially this one that you guys are going to watch.
Cool, man. Thanks. Yeah, I really loved doing the podcast last time because we have such a chill vibe, I think. And I actually, because our last podcast had a whopping 53 views, but so that's not a lot. But the fun thing is that the 53 people, a lot of them personally talked to me like that was such a chill vibe. I loved having it on the background and just getting to know the meta a bit and getting to hear your opinions. It was like I was involved in the podcast, in the discussion myself. So that was a really cool reaction that people had, and that's why I actually opted to do a second one. And yeah, like I said, it's always a good vibe with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100% agree with you on that. I mean, even though it was like only 53 viewers, I don't think we did it for the views. I mean, yeah, the views would be nice, but it was more so for us and then anyone else that wanted to kind of dive in and kind of listen to what we had to discuss about it. But overall, we both enjoyed it, and that's what mattered the most.
Yeah, that is true. And like quality over quantity, right?
Agreed.
But talking about YouTube, like you've been popping off as well. Like you have more subs than me right now, and also I've been loving all the videos that you are posting out. You are using the so we would talk about the Digital Gate Open website last time, and you were using it every time on the end of your match videos. That is so cool, and I thought, like, I saw a lot of interesting matches. One, I think it's not an experienced player, was playing Metal Garurumon in this meta, and I was thinking about how to play Metal Garurumon and implement it in this meta, and I think he was really onto it. Although he wasn't very experienced, because I saw him doing a lot of misplays, but the way he built his deck together really is something. I think my brain is still too much stuck on the one-hit KO archetype that Metal Garurumon is or was, and now it's more of a control thing, and I think he played it very... He was onto something, let's just say it like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. The player that piloted that deck, definitely, he's a very strong player within my community. Maybe it was just a little off that day. He hasn't touched Metal Garuru in a while, but the whole reason why I do these kind of match videos is for us to actually look back as well and see what we could have done better. In a way, it'll help strengthen all of my friends within my community when regionals rolls around to see what we could have done better. So, and also at the same time, entertain whoever wants to watch and their inputs. As you can see through the comments, I've gained a lot of people who pointed out what the players could have done better. So it definitely helps us out, and also at the same time entertain.
Yeah, and besides the battle videos that you have, the match videos, you have some box openings, and congrats. I saw you, we were talking about Metal Garurumon earlier, but I saw you pulled, spoiler alert, you pulled a secret Metal Garurumon in your BT15 box. I was so jealous because I didn't do that in my first box. I did in my second box and my third, but yeah, that was really cool.
That was definitely a really nice feeling to pull Metal Garurumon, though it was an SP, which I've been chasing for forever now. But my luck is hopefully, fingers crossed, I get it pretty soon. But yeah.
I hope so as well. The SP is really cool. So of course I don't want to keep the people waiting here, but before we go into the topics, I have one last question for you, because you were talking about my channel. I'm talking about your channel. What Digimon channel do you like the most on YouTube?
Ooh. I want to say overall production editing wise, I want to have to put a vault at the top, followed by you, of course. you definitely have strong content on your channel, very detailed, like I mentioned earlier. You do keep your viewers engaged, and overall great content, honestly.
Well, I'm a number 2. Maybe I should kick you off the podcast, man. I thought it would be I would be number 1.
Hey, I'm just being realistic here. You wanted a real answer. I'm giving you a real answer.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not seeing me. I wasn't expecting me to be your number 2, anyways. I was expecting you to be me to be number 1, of course. But no, I was not expecting to get on the list in any way, shape, or form. I was, you know, which YouTube channel I like a lot. Because you were talking about Avolt, but you were also talking about me being able to keep my viewers immersed, interested. And I think that credit goes to Kavinsky, Digimon TCG. I don't know if you've seen him, but he has such a cool way of talking about the cards, and he has a really good quality in his videos. So I think he's my number 1, because I think the style he is using is the style I would like to use as well. So this is shout out to him, and of course KNT Elixir and PXP Productions, who are doing a lot of quantity on their videos. I like those a lot. I like the quality over quantity, but at the end of the day, I want to see a match video like almost every day. So, and they're providing that. So I like those kind of content creators as well.
I'm gonna definitely have to check them out, especially since you recommended that.
All right. So no waiting around anymore for our viewers. I have to apologize though. I haven't been speaking English for a long time. So if I'm at a loss for words, sorry in advance. We are going into the topics for today. The topics that we are discussing today is a meta review. Let's look back at the EX8 / BT 1920 2.0 meta, and Medieval Gallantmon, new card, very expensive, EX8. What's the deal with him? Want to discuss that for a bit, and of course, what we did last time, I think that was very fun, using the SRs as a point of representing the archetype, and then giving them a rating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Digivices in total, with the discussion of why we are giving them this rating. Over to you. You had some subjects that you wanted to discuss. I'm gonna leave those to you. Why don't you introduce them?
So first of the 3 topics that I'll be bringing up is definitely the ban prediction, because I know everyone's been patiently waiting for that. Another one would be revealed cards. So all the cards revealed up to, I think, Zach, you mentioned we're gonna mention up to, was it BT21?
A few. Well, actually, just 2 of BT21, because I want to have that discussion with you when the time is right. But
right, we'll definitely leave it
as
a surprise for the viewers on what we reveal. But we'll be talking about revealed cards, and then last but not least, immunity. That's definitely a big discussion. I know you wanted me to talk about it, and we'll talk more about that and on why you wanted me to talk about it. You felt like I was a strong person to talk to about on that topic there.
Yes, indeed. First off, meta review. Like, we had a lot of discussions about cards that would make a splash or not, and right now we of course saw the Purple Hybrid dominating a lot, and the European Worlds got Mirage Gaugaman, who was again number 1. So I know I said, like, I was very amazed when you said that the Lord Nightmon X would, yeah, be just a 2-star, and I like, what? I was very surprised about that, and I said, yeah, it's gonna be a 5-star card. It's gonna be everywhere. Everybody wants to get a piece of that pie, and I've seen it nowhere actually.
You may have seen it sprinkled here and there when it was first released, but ever since things got diluted and we were finding out how good the other decks were, you saw a lot less of the Lord Nightmon. Maybe I'm onto something. Who knows? Maybe it was just a lucky rating.
Yeah, I guess. Overall, I don't know what your opinion is about the meta from EX8 or before that. I think it was a pretty healthy meta. I hate Imperial Dramon still, but for the rest of the meta, it was pretty healthy. We had, of course, the purple hybrid that was dominating, but after EX8, we're already in EX8, wow. After EX8, we had the Terra-talk, which is such a cool deck and strong, and I think it's well balanced. I think it has a great splash in the meta, playing against every deck. You can still, yeah, play the deck. It's not like you have ultimate losses to any kind of decks, and that's why it was in top 16. I think it was in Latin America. What are decks that you feel like they were strong in this last meta, or you were surprised that they weren't strong?
What I felt was strong was definitely purple hybrid. I think we can all agree on that. What I was surprised was, because you know how Imperial was dominating majority of top 16 in the last format, I was surprised to actually not see it as much as I thought I would in this format. So that was definitely a big shock factor to me.
Oh, believe me, the less I see of that deck, the better.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone is just happy to not see that deck.
Yeah. The purple hybrid, and then we had EX, and what was the other deck you said?
Trying to remember what other deck that I mentioned. I can't remember.
Yeah, so, but it's still, overall, did you think the meta was healthy?
I would have to say no. Compared to, so I'm comparing this format to the last format in healthy wise, because even though Imperial Dramon was up there, you were still seeing splashes of other decks. But if you take a look at like the top 16 of let's take the last 5 large scale tournaments, it was majority of purple hybrids. So health wise, maybe it gone worse a little bit when you're seeing just only mainly purple hybrids all over the place. So yeah, I would say it's less healthy than what it was before.
I would have thought it would be a better, a healthier meta, because like what I said with the Dino Rexmon being in there as well as a sort of a gatekeeper who can fight against anything. But yeah, I think overall the Digimon card game is in a good spot right now. Fun to play, fun to do, a lot of different kind of archetypes. Everything can win. Omnimon, I love the deck. I actually ordered the binder set yesterday. Hopefully I can get my hands on that soon. So before we talk about the archetypes in general over 2.5, I just want to address Medieval Gallantmon. I'm gonna put it on screen right now, if I can find it. Just a second, people at home. There we go, Medieval. Medieval Gallantmon. So what are your, just on the top of your head, what are your opinions about Medieval Gallantmon?
Extremely strong card. It's so good that it's splashable in any deck. I'm telling you, any deck. I run it right now, one of in my purple hybrid deck. I'm thinking of running a second one. This is how crazy good this card is.
A lot of people will run too. Yeah, that's true. Do you think it's unhealthy for the game to have such a card in the meta, in the game?
No, absolutely not. Especially since it's splashable in any decks. It'll definitely help a little bit with that deck, or with whichever deck that you're running. And if you run into a deck that hard counters you, this could possibly be your out. Because in the past, I mean, there probably are cards that helps you get around certain deck, but you gotta tech those cards in. This definitely, I mean, is a good staple in any deck, so it'll help you get over the decks that hard counters you. On top of that, gives you that extra aggression. So I honestly don't think this is puts it in a bad state, in a healthy state.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one, because that is, I feel like every meta has a Medieval Gallantmon in one shape or form. In BT1, BT2, way back when, Rookie Rush was a big thing. So a lot of people would tech in, what's his name again? Volcanic Dramon. Volcanic Dramon would pop off all the Digimon with, I think, 3000 DP or less. It was on play skill. It was pretty good back then. Of course, in later formats, we had our friend Death Axmon, who was popped in every deck. A lot of people used 2-ofs, like also Medieval Gallantmon. When you said, I want to tech one extra in, I already run one, I want to run another one. A lot of people do that. And I think every meta has such a card that is just so splashable that you cannot not use it, right?
Yeah, I think honestly Bandai does this to try to keep their format healthy, or the meta healthy, because without these cards, then you're gonna see no other decks. You would only see one type of deck within the top 8, top 16.
Yeah, definitely. And well, there's one problem though. It's of course that it is way expensive. I think it's $50 for just the normal art, let alone alt arts or anything like that. But I do like that what Bandai did with Death Axmon. They would put it into a event pack, so it would be helping people like who weren't able to get these or don't have $50 to just get one card. Pay 30 for an event. You get to play. You get some event cards, and maybe you have a Death X or Medieval Gallantmon.
So, I just wanted to kind of update you really quick, Zach. So I just took a quick peek at the price of what Medieval Gallantmon is regular art, and it's actually not 50. Do you think it went up or down?
Don't leave me in suspense. I think it went up.
Yes, it is currently $83. Market price is $77.59.
Sorry, what? Excuse me? $83?
Yes.
Dude, no.
So this is the moment where people actually realize how strong of a card this is, that it's really good. So everyone's trying to get their hands on it.
Yeah, I don't know how it is in Europe here. I think in Europe, it should be 53. I'm just too lazy to look it up. I think it's 53 the last time I checked. We also, speaking of which, because of course it is it's healthy, but it also kills off some of the decks. And personally, I don't mind that they kill off a certain deck, because I never enjoyed playing against it. I think it was too free. But it really kills off something that you actually wanted to discuss. But we hadn't had the time to put it into our time slot. Speaking of, I think we don't have a set time slot for this podcast, but last time it was pretty lengthy, and I like the length. It's fine as long as we can discuss everything we want. But one deck that is going to have support in 2.5 is Blue Flare. And that deck is Doa. It's dead on arrival with Medieval Gallantmon in the meta, because everything you do with that is on play, right?
Yep. The only thing is with Blue Flare though, they don't just play a body once that turn. I've noticed that they're able to play multiple bodies that turn. So just keep in mind, Medieval only activates all turns. Even though it's all turns, it's only once per turn. So if you could just bait out that first all turns or that effect and then just pop off after that, then I think Blue Flare might be in a good spot.
Yeah, and that's why I think the Cross Hearts will have more of an easy time against Medieval Gallantmon, because they do it even more free, because when something is deleted, you get to play something else out, I believe. Don't ask me, because I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about Cross Hearts, because I hate the deck. No hate against the players. I know my friend Fabian, the F Dream, who is also in a lot of YouTube comments on my channel, would like to make a comeback in Digimon, and he would like to play Blue Flare. F Dream, there are ways around it, like Johnny said. It's not completed yet, but yeah, it's something that you should know that you're up against the Medieval Gallantmon as well.
Yep. Unfortunately for me though, I didn't get to play during when hunters were a thing, so I don't know your pain. So maybe I get to feel your pain now with all the support that's coming out. So.
Well, Hunters doesn't get support until later on, but this is Cross Hearts, and Cross Hearts was.
Cross Hearts, is that different? Sorry, I'm a newbie at this game.
Is that cardist, like card racism? It's doing Digicross, it's all the same.
Yeah, I mean I've seen that Tamer and Hunters, so I immediately assume that.
Right? Yeah. No. Those are the 4 different kinds of flavors, I guess. You have Cross Hearts, you have Blue Flare, you have the Dark Knight stuff. Wow, I actually love playing Dark Knightmon, and I can't come up with Twilight. You have Twilight. I know that. And you have Hunters, and actually you also have Bagra Army, but no one talks about that because it never gets real support. Sorry, Geese. My friend Geese is probably watching or listening to this, and apologies, man. I know you you are waiting for that support. Maybe next year. Well, let's talk about something else, because yeah, Medieval, it is healthy, it's balanced, it's a way around, and it's definitely a mainstay staple in this deck, in almost every deck. Which brings us to the new archetypes, the new cards in BT2. I want to give you point on this one, so you can take point on the War Gromon. Of course, you want to see the alt art for it. War Gromon, thoughts?
More support for Gallant. I mean, it's been crazy amount of support for a Gallant deck, am I right? I mean, what this is, it's an ace card, probably splashable in all red. That's all I gotta say about it. It's an ace card and more support for Gallantmon. Also, I mean, I don't remember seeing an ace card with inherit effects.
I did.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Cyberdramon.
So I think this is the first time I've seen ace card with inherit effects.
No, it's definitely not. No. Cyberdramon from the LM set, but in the main set, this is the first one with the with an inherit effect.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me correct myself. I have yet to see an ace card with inherited effects used in the current meta. That is probably why I haven't seen an ace card with inherited effects.
I think so, but overall, I'm not that enthusiastic about this card. Of course, it is Gallant support, fine. Before I say my say what kind of rating would you give it?
Oof. I mean, just quick look at it. Effects. It seems like a basic effect, and you would probably want to go into your other Roar Growlmon rather than acing. I would have to give it a 2. Just because there are probably, if you're going to run an ace card, there's definitely a lot more better level 5 ace cards red that you could run. But I mean, this is probably specifically for Gallant deck. That makes it stronger.
Yeah, I think the thing that it does, like gaining memory and adding a bunch of DP on the DP deletion maximum effects, is which War Gromon does not do that. So why would you risk the overflow for it?
Yeah, exactly. It's just the overflow factor in that it was what definitely brings down the rating, and it's only from what I've seen is they add to the maximum DP deletion is only strong and probably Gallimon.
Yeah, the only thing that is a saving
definitely don't
grace.
see. Sorry, go ahead, Zach. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, no, I kind of cut you off there, but the only thing that is a saving grace for this card is that you can maybe steal back the turn, like because you gain memory. It's on play when digivolving, delete up to 3000 DP, blah blah blah. For each of your opponent's Digimon, add 2000 DP to the deletion effects maximum, and then for each Digimon this effect deleted, gain 1 memory. But yeah, like getting rid of a level 4 is the same thing as breathing, right? You can, it's it's so easy to get rid of a level 4. Yeah, I don't think this. I would give it a 1 star. I would give it a 1 because it's
a fair rating. I would say that's a pretty fair rating.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna say 2 stars for the simple reason. You have a lot of memory gain effects through Tocado and stuff. You can, if you have a memory setter on board, you can play this for 5. You pass turn. You would pass memory over to 2. But if you gain back a memory from Tocado and itself, then you can immediately digivolve into your level 6, who has immunity, which we will be discussing later on, and that would give it a 2. But I still think it's meh. It doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, I can already see other War Growlmon that you would prefer to go into, honestly.
Yeah. All right, over to the next one. It is a strong card. It is Taomon. Thoughts, ideas, shoot.
Almon. Will it make a difference for Sakuya deck? I mean, I've seen support for Sakuyamon, all the Redamon support. I have yet to see it actually being somewhere in the meta. I mean, I've heard like stories of this Tau loop, but honestly, like I don't think this is gonna make a huge difference in the meta.
Well, first of all, I think like I'm toggling between the normal art and the alt art. I think I almost feel like the normal art is cooler than the alt art, but that's beside the point. Some people are swearing on this deck being the next meta contender, and I can see why, because it's very overwhelming. When I did face in testing, face against the Taomon loop in testing. Maybe the player was not that experienced, but I did find a way to win that game. Of course, I did play a black deck that uses Digivolve. So yeah, the thing is, you can play a lot of options and Digivolve a lot of your Digimon at the same time, who will also have, when Digivolving, use an option, so you can Digivolve another and another and another. I can see this becoming very strong, but I can also see this being quite balanced because it is an ace. You have the overflow, and yeah, there are a lot of ways. Sorry, I have to sneeze, but it doesn't come up. There are a lot of ways now to be immune, like I said, and also ways to not get the Digivolve effect. I think Bandai is putting in some fail-safe devices for aces because they don't want to overpower aces too much, I think. So if you would give this a rating, what kind of rating would you give it?
I'll give it a 3 because I have hope, maybe. But going back to what we talked about earlier, the Tau loop. In the past, we've also seen other decks that loop. How quickly did Bandai intervene and stop that with a Banlist? Or how quickly other players were able to pick up on the loop and found a way around it. So right now I'm holding out hope potentially that this is one of the loops that may stay around longer than the past loops. But honestly, who knows? Because we did have the Galaxy loop. We also had the I can't remember the other loop, but off the top of my head was definitely one of the Galaxy that got hit pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was the Galaxy loop, but I think 3 is very honest. It's very because it can go each way. It could go like there. People will find out a counter against this loop. I know of the option card, the white option card from EX1, Emergency Program Shutdown. I think it had a reprint in the BT14 set as well. So that could be a thing, but overall, it could go the other way around. Like people are finding new ways to use the loop and exploit it. But so that's why I think it's a solid 3. You can definitely build your deck around it, and it's a strong deck. It's a good meta contender, I guess. Which brings us to for me, I'm just gonna be not biased, but I'm just gonna say it right up front. Rapidmon Ace. Thoughts? What are your thoughts about that?
Honestly, I want to see Rapid X back in the meta. I honestly love that like deck. Rapid X, I mean, I did make the deck. I just never touched it. I've watched other players play it, and it's great. But they're missing something. They're not shining as much as I want in the top 16 on these large scale tournaments. I want to see more green, you know, instead of the same purple, blue that we always see.
Yeah, well, like, I'm gonna give it a 1. I'm gonna give it a 1 right off the bat. I think it's a really bad card, if you ask me. Like, I think Rapidmon X still sees play a lot, and I think it still gets to top 30, top 32. But again, it's the same thing that we discussed with the War Growlmon. I think on play when Digivolve, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, then one of their Digimon or Tamers can suspend until the end of their turn. It's such a generic effect, but it's worse than War Growlmons, because like if a Digimon attacks and you say, okay, I'll blast and I suspend your guy that's already suspended, and he cannot unsuspend during this turn, but it's already doing damage. What good does it give it? Yeah, it's a plus 4. It's whopping 4,000 DP extra, so it's hard to KO. But the only thing that I could see this doing is the same, like I already said, hard dropping it before someone gets to swing, or hard dropping it, keeping turn, and digivolving into one of the level 6s. That could be Mega Gargo, who's very strong. That can be the bunny ace. What's his name? Cherubi, which is very strong. yeah, I don't I don't see this being meta at all right now.
Yeah, I mean, thinking back on the deck just a little bit more, I have to agree with you on the rating of 1. Just because with that mediocre effect, plus you're giving your opponent 3 memory if it were to die, you would rather go into your other rapid mon that gives pseudo immunity, where it can't be bounced or returned to hand deck and can't be deleted by opponent's effect. I think you would rather want to go into that rapid mon than this one.
Exactly.
Because then you can also go into your Mega Gargo Ace, which is probably one of the strongest green black ace card that I know of. You'd rather go into that and not into this, because you want that one turn protection from the other rapid mon that you go into. So yeah, I have to agree with you with the 1 rating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we're agreeing on that one. That's for sure. So let's get rid of the rating. That's 1, and let's get rid of rapid very fast. Now, Mr. Bias over here, Justimon, and I'm just gonna show the sexy alt art as well. Even though the regular art is actually pretty cool as well, with the Omnimon, Apocalymon, and War Greymon also stealing the scene a bit. But this one looks really menacing. He's facing up against the big threat of Millenniumon. But we're not here to just discuss the art. We're here to discuss the power. What is your do I want to take point on this one? Or do you want to have point on this one? I'm just gonna give it to you, because I'll be ranting a lot about this. Not ranting, I'll be talking a lot about this card. So I'll just give you your shot here.
Gotcha. Okay, so I mean, like I said, newbie to the game, started late in the game. I have not seen a Justimon deck. I don't know if it was a deck that roamed back then before I started playing. But just a quick look at the effects. It looks pretty strong. Because I don't know too much about the deck, and just a quick look at this ace card itself on the effects, I would have to give it a safe rating of a 3. I mean, we don't see a lot of effects that gets rid of option cards in the battle area.
Yeah,
And
funny that you picked up on that.
Exactly. With that, I mean, you already see there's already so many option cards that has the delay effect and stays in the battle area, that I see that this Justimon ace card definitely will see a lot of play.
Yeah, it's I'm such a lover of this card, of this archetype, because I'm a big Batman fan, as you might have known. But I feel like Justimon is the Batman in the Digimon universe, not because of his broody characteristics, but more of the ways that you have a lot of utility, and one of that is disarming your opponent. Like look at Mirage Galgamon. They tend to stay in the back a lot and then play out their memory boost and their training cards. And if you can catch them by surprise with this Justimon, then yeah, it's really cool. But one of the stronger things, I've been testing this deck a lot, and I've already made a script for a YouTube video, a deck profile for this deck in particular, is one of the stronger things is our topic at the end of this podcast, so stay tuned, people. Immunity. You can just hard slam Justimon turn 1 if your turn 2. If you're going turn 2 and your opponent leaves you at 3 with a searcher, you play this. Yeah, good luck. It will stay on the field, and I'll do damage next turn. And I'm a blocker, by the way, so I don't know. No early chips for you. It's really strong. And what's really funny is the EX8, the pass set, is had some support for Justimon in general, but that's because of the unification of the Digimon card game. In Japan, it was reversed. You first got the Justimon Blitz Arm Ace, and then after that, you got the X-antibody option, the X-antibody cards for this archetype. And the thing with the Justimon card, which is really strong, like on play when digivolving, it is unaffected. Cool, immunity. But after that turn, it's vulnerable, right? No, because Justimon X from the EX8 set can use one of the when digivolving effects of Justimon that is in its sources when it attacks. So you can actually recur the immunity effects. So that's pretty cool.
Yep, and I was just about to mention about the immunity effect, pseudo immunity of an ace card. I don't know if I've seen a ace card with an immunity from an on play before.
No, I now that you mention it, I don't think so as well. Because when you started your sentence, I immediately thought, well, you just mentioned Mega Gargo, right? But Mega Gargo doesn't get the immunity from itself. It gets it from the Rapidmon that you played the turn before it. So yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, so already with that effect, I would say it puts this ace card above a lot of other ace cards already. Having that protection when it gets played definitely kind of delays your opponent from removing it from the board for like an extra turn. And with that extra turn, you could probably just pop off after that.
True.
And like you mentioned, it's recyclable from one of the other cards to be able to activate the Wooden Digivolving effect again. So you'll get that immunity again. It's not like it's going to be lost forever. It's not like it's going to be a one-time thing with it.
Yeah, true. But like you had a rating of 3, and I have to disagree, sadly. I would love to see it at 5. Of course, for me, it is a 5 because I like the Digimon so much. But realistically speaking, it's definitely a 3. And that's funny. I'm giving away spoilers for my own video because some of the things I said here are in the script as well. But in my new video, I will be rating my decks as a whole as well, and I also give that a rating of 3. So yeah, if it doesn't really I discuss different subjects why it is a 3, but I think overall it is just a 3. Yeah, Justimon, just a 3.
Maybe I could be wrong with this rating compared to what we rated Lord Nightmon on our last discussion video. Maybe
yeah, who
knows?
Right, who knows? Who knows? I think a 3 is solid. It's your go. Let me know what's the deal with Beelze. 'Cause I'm not playing that deck.
Beelzemon, another purple. Do you want to see it in top 16? I mean, Beelzemon, I've only faced the Beelzemon deck once ever, and I would have to say they're extremely fast at milling out their deck and making plays extremely fast because I did not know what I was getting into, and I just got absolutely destroyed. And this was at BT16 when I was playing Imperial, so it's probably because I didn't know how to go up against the deck, but it seemed pretty fast, and maybe this will definitely help bring it back into current meta. Especially that when attacking effect by returning 10 non-digi egg cards from your trash to the top of the deck, and you're trashing your opponent's top security. So that effectively is 2 checks. So for me, since I'm a purple player now, and I just love purple in general, I mean, strong, I have to give this a 4.
4-star rating. I think I should agree with you on the 4-star rating, not on for the reasons that you just talked about, because well, for one, if you were playing Imperial Dramon and facing last Beelzemon and you lost to it, then you probably had it coming, because I hate Imperial Dramon. Just wanted to emphasize on that. But no, all kidding aside, the reason I think it is, because I agree with you, I think it's a 4-star as well, but not because of the Beelzemon archetype itself. 7th grade Demon Lords is consistently getting some support here and there, and I think people are not seeing that 7th grade Demon Lords is creeping up on people. It's creeping up in the ranks, like it's becoming so much stronger, and with this ace option on top of it, makes it very strong. I think it's definitely a card that you want to keep in your back pocket for when it becomes expensive because of the 7th grade Demon Lords taking over. It's a strong card. I dislike it, but it's a strong card. So I'll stay with your 4 rating as well. So far, we're agreeing.
Sorry, Zach. I just have to cut you off there. But I know you mentioned 7th grade Demon Lords. I honestly don't see this card being played in that deck at all. Just because of the 7 Deadly Gates deleting your Digimon. If that was the case, then if that wasn't the case, 7th grade Demon Lords would have been already running a bunch of aces. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't play 7th grade Demon Lords. I know that a lot of people are seeing that as a problem deck in the future. I think that there will be ways to go around it, and like you said, trashing an option card, because it plays the same like Royal Knight, right? You just poop out a lot of Demon Lords at the end, and then you swing. Using the ace will make you trash another card before going for game, just like you would do with the Omnimon playstyle. The Wargreymon will trash the top, and then you would swing for game.
It's only time will tell. We gotta see how this affects the meta when it comes out, and I am excited for it.
Yeah. So talking about purple and talking about Imperial Dramon, this is a great segue for us to talk about Imperial Dramon. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So first off, regular art or alt art? I think alt art would be good.
Alt art or the SP? I'm just kidding. I definitely have to go with the alt art. It looks magnificent.
Yeah, it looks like an action shot. Like I said, I hated Imperial Dramon, but I have to be honest here. First of all, I've got to get rid of the ratings because we're not there yet. I have to be honest, I do like this deck a lot. I think it's very unique in its playstyle. I think it's very cool that they got the purple style of playing Digimon card game implemented in this Imperial Dramon Virus mode. I think it's very strong. I saw B-Man X, a YouTuber who's very funny, by the way. It's very, very funny content. But he was able to grab top 16. I think he was 13th place with Imperial Dramon Virus mode in BT16 meta. I think it's an overlooked deck. It's very strong. It can also gain immunity from the security effects, which is pretty good. And of course it has, because it's Imperial in name, you can now mix and match with the blue-green Imperial Dramon, and also of course with the Primogener option card, which makes it very strong. I think this is this deck could be a big contender. I think people are sleeping on it. I don't think we'll see it in the meta because people are sleeping on it, but I think it could be very strong. This is a scary deck.
So the stories that I've heard about Red Purple Imperial from the players that have played it, they said that this was actually stronger than Blue Green back in the day. Are they correct? Is that?
If you are like, the Blue Green was more player friendly. Everyone could play it. And the Red Purple is more, I think purple in general has a higher learning curve It's harder to master, but if you can master it, I think it has a higher ceiling. It has more ways to play the deck. Although in the past it could have been before BT16. I didn't really look at other cards, other decks during the BT16 meta when people were slotting in the BT16 cards. Before that, it was quite clunky, but if it went off, it went off. A friend of mine who quit Digimon, by the way, is very sad. Used to play Imperial Dramon virus mode, the virus Imperial Dramon, and he was like grinding it, and that's why he gave me such a tough time with it, because he knew the deck back and forth, forth to back, A to Z, C to A. But like, yeah, that I think this is stronger, and especially because the Dino Beamon from BT16 that gives that can let you play out level 5 and gives a Digimon rush with can attack is also very strong with partition.
Yep, I gotta agree with you on that. I feel like with the support for red, purple, Imperial, I definitely will see this in the meta. Because I mean, saw blue, green, that got support. I might have to definitely. What rating to give this? A 5. Only
a 5? You give it a 5?
Let me explain myself. Even though I hate blue, green, Imperial, that the only reason why I hated that deck was because I bricked so much at it. After playing purple, though, being able to play stuff from my trash, I felt like I was more in control of my deck rather than letting the deck control me with bricked hands. So I feel like this is definitely a strong card for sure, and I think it deserves a 5. Mixing in purple with Imperial, maybe we'll get Imperial Dramon Empire back at it with red purple.
Who knows? All right, for the last card in this BT19 set, we are going to talk about Lumina Mon Nene version. And by the way, I had to give the rating. I would give this a 4-star, though. I think it's very strong, very powerful, but people are sleeping on it, and yeah. All right, so back to Lumina. Let's put away the Alt-Art Imperial and Luminamon, who is kind of giving me weird vibes with the outfit she's wearing. I think she's most of the tamers are 12, right? So that's weird. But
so before we go into Lumina, I absolutely know nothing about Lumina, so you would have to take point here, Zach. And give me a little bit more backstory on this card.
I have to. Well, it's a secret rare. That's for one. I have to agree with you. I have not seen it been played. I think it has some. Like it's a cross-hard card, but it can digicross with Shademon and Luminamon, so you have to get slots from that into it as well, into your deck. And I think overall it's quite clunky for what it's wanting to do. I definitely, especially since we are already, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've already been into this podcast for 53 minutes. I'm just gonna skip this one. Give this a 1. I haven't seen it.
I'll agree with you on that.
Okay.
Since we both know nothing about it,
we know nothing, and maybe we're just ignorant
on the rating. But
yeah, maybe we're just ignorant. But yeah. Next card. Oh wow! Did I just get rid of the border? I did get rid of the border. That's too bad. There we go. Yeah. Next card. Jessamine GX. Hate it. I know it's very strong. That's why I hate it. I hate it that because it does so much on the field, and it has Blast Digivolve. It can do a lot of things, placing Royal Knights at the bottom of Digivolution cards, making it immune, blah 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 blah. It just does so much sequencing that I think, yeah, dude, just I feel like Arnold. Come on, I'm right over here. Kill me right now. Come on. Yeah, it's no. Just play the game, man. Just go play the game.
Yeah, I mean, Jesmon GX. I played against the deck maybe a few times. It definitely checks a lot. It checks your security quite a bit, being that it's red. Being able to unsuspend. On top of that, this is definitely going to give it that turbo boost that it needs to come back into the meta. So I heard from someone that with this Jesmon deck, it relies less on Sister Mon? Maybe?
I hope so. Because that's part of the sequencing thing that does so much. Like, I gave it a 1, but let's be fair. It's going to be a 3 to 4 star deck at the very minimum.
To say 4.
Yeah.
To say 4 here. Just seeing how quickly it can potentially OTK you, I have to give it a 4.
Yeah, that's realistic. I just don't like it.
Fair enough.
All right. Going into Gigadramon. Gigadramon. Hear me out here. Sorry about that. Gigaseedramon. Very strong. I like this a lot. I think it's a unique archetype. It's working out very well. I think Digimon card game is slapping on almost all of the keywords that they can find on a lot of different cards nowadays. But security attack +1 is very good. Reboot blocker, very good. When Digivolving, playing out level 5 so you can unsuspend. Very good. I'm talking about Mega Seedramon in this case. Also, all turns once per turn when any of your Digimon are played from this Digimon's Digivolution cards. No, not this Digimon, just Digimon Digivolution cards in general. You can de-Digivolve 2 on one of your opponent. That is like de-Digivolve. I stand by it till this day. It's one of the strongest mechanics in the game, and yeah, it's very strong. I think it's it could be a top tier contender. The deck.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. De-Digivolve, I have yet to see a lot of cards to get around de-Digivolve. De-Digivolve definitely one of the effects that will always have a 99% success rate on that, unless, which we're gonna go into later, they have immunity.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, like, even though you de-Digivolve them and their body's still on board, the opponent's gotta be wary about if they were to Digivolve with that body that they have on the board again, that this Gigaseedramon has a when attacking as well. So it's not just when it Digivolves, when it attacks, it can play more bodies, which then will de-Digivolve you again.
True, yes. So it has recursion again. It definitely, if I would give this a rating, a friend of mine was testing this against me. 2 friends of mine were testing this against me, and I would definitely give it a 4. I think it's very strong.
I agree with you. 4.
Especially because of the immunity of what we're back. Every topic we discuss, we are inevitably gonna talk about immunity. Because of the Aegisdramon gives a lot of things immunity. For some reason, this Gigadramon doesn't get immunity, but immunity through that deck is very strong. So I think this deck will be a top contender.
Yep, agree with you. 4 rating.
All right.
And also, I want to see Seedramon up there.
Understandable. Time to shine. All right. So next up, we have Chaosdramon Velder Arm. And I just wanted to talk about the alt art. The alt art is so incredible. If you have it on screen for yourself, I first thought that the download quality was bad because it's pixelated, but that is part of the art, and I think this art is, well, like it's booming. It's great. Yeah, it's all there. Unfortunately, the deck is very clunky. I will never see play.
You know, I've seen a lot of Chaos Mon cards that I've pulled from the older boxes that I've opened, and yeah, I've yet to see a Chaos Mon anywhere in the year and a half that I've been playing Digimon. So hopeful, maybe we'll see it, but I definitely have to agree with you on that too.
Yeah, like it has potential if it gets decent support or someone finds that gold mine of how to get this on field quickly. Otherwise, because like the when digivolving for each of this Digimon's level 6 Digivolution, blah blah blah, spend blah blah blah, tamer, gain a memory. That's cool. None of their Digimon or tamers can activate on-play effects or unsuspend until the end of their turn. That is so strong. If you get it on the field. You never get it on the field because it's so clunky. But yeah. Alright, so we agree on this one. 2 Digivices. Next up is a fan favorite. It is Axomon. I kinda like the regular art more than the alt art, to be fair. But Axomon, shoot your shot.
I mean, it's green, red, blue, raid, piercing, blocker, evade. What more can I say? This card is so strong with all of those. Being able to raid, take out anybody, block. Also on top of that, it has piercing, evade, kind of a pseudo protection there. And also when its effect, when a Digimon suspends, it gets to unsuspend. So let's say if you were to block a body and they're like, oh yes, now we can get rid of it because it won't be able to evade. Sorry about you. The Digimon just suspended, so he unsuspends himself. So that rating, I'm gonna have to give this a 5.
I don't know if I agree with your 5, but I definitely agree that this is a very strong card, strong archetype right now. I think it's deserved for it's been so long. I mean, it's one of the strongest Royal Knights there. A very cool archetype, but I've seen the support, and I think it's the deck plays itself. I think this has just one game plan, and whenever game plans go off, it's there. I don't think this will be a fun deck. I think the a fun deck to play, that is. I definitely see it as a strong deck because of it also has protection from the option cards, sort of like Miraculous Mega Knight that Omnimon decks have. Yeah, I don't feel like this deck is something that I would like to play. I think it's a deck I would like to own. Props to Bandai though that they didn't make this deck in a way that you really need the promo Dracomon, because that's like 20 to 40 bucks right there per card. So yeah. No, I think it's a strong deck. I think it's well deserved, well timed. I think they did neuter the archetype a bit, making it oversimplistic, but strong nonetheless. I think it's a 4 though. 5 is
Agreed.
a perfect, but I don't know if it's perfect because it only has one game plan, so you can easily try and counter it.
Hey Zach, I'm gonna let you take point here really quick. I just gotta step away really quick, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Doing this without Johnny real quick, we are talking about Invisimon. And Invisimon is a card that I'm on the fence about. A friend of mine told me that the Justimon archetype lends itself to... Oh no, sorry. The Invisimon archetype lends itself to Justimon. I haven't seen it in play yet, but yeah, I have to see it. Of course, we talked about the Digivolve too. The Digivolving is a very strong effect, and I think again, this is a Liberator card, the Liberator sets tend to have very cool, unique mechanics, having their own identity, and that's what I like about the Liberator sets. So this is, for me, is going to be definitely a 3-star. I haven't seen it pop up in JP in Japan, but I love like that it has its own unique thing. Like your turn, when your Digimon check face up security, you may place this Digimon's top stack card face up as the bottom security. Security end of your opponent's turn, play this card without paying the cost. That's pretty strong because your on play is also the Digivolve 2, and yeah, it's
I am back, Zach.
all right, cool. I was just talking about how this Invisimon is part of the Liberator set, and the Liberator sets are very unique in what they do, and how strong, of course, the Digivolve is again. This is something that's also very unique, and to be fair, I gave it like 3 stars. I think it's a solid deck. I don't think it will be seeing play a lot, but I almost would give it like a 4-star just for the alt art. The alt art is literally Invisimon being invisible. It looks so cool.
I agree. I would have to say give it a 4 rating because of the alt art itself, but no, a 3 rating on it is definitely good. I mean, playing out of security or level 6 is kind of nuts. But on top of that, flipping your opponent's security card face up just to make sure that you're not swinging blindly into a security bomb is definitely a really good effect.
Yeah, now that I'm staring at the Invisimon, I just noticed it is black and blue. There was this time where people were playing Machine Dramon with a blue bottom end, so that they could use the what's his name again? It's such a cool card. It got a reprint lastly on the Terriermon starter deck. I would say Wolfclaw. Was it Wolfclaw?
That sounds right.
Yeah, Kaiser Nil. You're right, Kaiser Nil.
That's the
Kaiser
one.
Nil. You could actually use Kaiser Nil to get bottom Digivolution sources on field. Then at the end you'll go into security and you'll play yourself out again, so that you have a body on board as well. Just theory cooking here, real quick. But I think we're going to discuss what everybody wants us to discuss, and which is going to be a meta contender. I think it's gonna. If I was gonna give something a 5-star, it will be this card. It is Alphamon, the Belgium-German Alphamon.
Oh,
because of the black, yellow, and green,
already,
and red.
Honestly, not like starting off, not having to even talk about the effects or anything. Just giving it a rating, definitely already a 5-star. Because I mean, Alphamon has been strong for how long now, and I mean, even though Dex Dorgor got support, I mean, that line was supposedly what evos into Alphamon anyways in the Digimon lore. So he's already got a ton of support, and this is just definitely icing on the cake.
I think this is definitely a meta contender, and I think Bandai knows it. Bandai has neutered this deck in the past. When BT9 came out, they had to immediately, almost emergency ban here in Europe, or in the West in general, get rid of the BT7 Doru Greymon. But yeah, this is very strong. I faced it the other night, and you know, it has the recovery, so it has longevity. It has gain 3 memory all turns, once per turn. So if he checks one or you check one, you'll lose 3 memory. Same thing like we've seen Mirage Galgamon do things like that, right? So that's definitely a strong effect. Also, coming back to immunity, the Alphamon that's in this set as well, the one that he uses to DNA Digivolve, has a form of protection for this card. So, like I said, I think it's gonna be a top contender. I think it's gonna be one of the, if not the strongest deck in the meta, in the format. And you know what? It's about time. I definitely think this Bandai was afraid for this too long. I know that this is a popular Digimon fan favorite, and give the people what they want, just for
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, we've got to see the leader of the Royal Knights up there, right? Am I right?
The original leader, right? Yeah. So yeah. No time to fuss about that. No. Let's see what we have later on. We have Heavy Metal Dramon. I think I'm gonna go with the alt art, although it's very busy looking, trippy. Yeah, strong, very strong, very yeah, balanced. I think balanced for what it does. It has the overflow, of course, but it's really strong because it can be offensive and defensive at the same time. I love that the alt art has the Magidramon on the background. Yeah, very strong, solid card. I think I would give this a 3. And I love that the Liberator sets are doing what they're doing. I love that it gets it's gonna get the needed support, because Heavy Metal Dramon was very fun to play with without the support that we have. What we're gonna without the support that we are going to get in 2.5, making it a unique archetype that is finally getting a full deck of cards.
And honestly, with the rating of 3, I have to give it a 3 as well. We did see some support come out for it, and I believe it was EX7. Correct me if I'm wrong. When support did come out for it, honestly, that was one of the decks that I wanted to make, but like I didn't see it topping anywhere. And myself, I suck at building decks. So it was just an idea that was scrapped. So hopefully with this support here, we'll definitely see them trickle into higher play. And honestly, it was one of the deck that I was looking forward to making.
Understandable. It's like my son has it. It's a really fun deck. We are going into another fan favorite who has a cult following because of the Liberator web comic. It's gonna be a Necromon, something that is unique, with a unique mechanic, like we discussed in the last podcast that we did. It has a unique keyword, execute. At the end of your turn, this Digimon may attack. At the end of that attack, delete this Digimon. Your opponent's unsuspended Digimon can also be attacked with this effect. Pretty strong, pretty good, especially because on deletion you may play level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Ghost trait. So it keeps cycling. A lot of people love this deck. I've seen people play it. I have to be honest though, I think it's just not cutting it. 2 stars.
I would have to give it a 1. I mean, it's nice. I would give it a 3 just for how it's being played. It's recycling itself, and it goes very well with how its name is, Necromon. But honestly, I definitely have to give it a 1 because I don't see it actually going anywhere. I mean, security attack +1, nice. New effect, execute. But in the past, we've seen new effects like that come up, and I have yet to see a deck with those kind of new effects being in the top, like Vortex. I mean, Medieval Gallant got Vortex, but Zafagamon had it first. We didn't see it up there.
Don't look down on Sfago. I think it's a very strong deck, but it's very hard to master. I think that's ironic because it's a starter deck card, but archetype. But yeah.
I mean, not only that, we did also see Overclock with the puppets. But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's get rid of the rating, and let's go into the next card, which I do not want to see. It is Venri. Pretty much, I would give it a 2. Simply put, because why would you run this ace if you have the original BT16 Venri Lugumon? That does so much more.
I'm gonna have to give it a 2 as well. Because I mean, like, yeah, ace. Why would you play this over like what you mentioned, the BT16 one? Would you rather give your opponent that -5?
Right.
It's just the deck is already working pretty well itself. We're already seeing it in top 16 within large scale tournaments. Who knows? Maybe someone can utilize this, but as of right now, where it stands, BT16 definitely overshadows this.
Yeah, definitely. That's the whole reason why it's 2, because it gets overshadowed. I think that sums it up quite well. Going into the next card is Death Exmon. Both arts are pretty good, cool. Weird spot. Death X. Is it better than the old one? No. Is it worse than the old one? No, actually not. It just is different. Security attack +1 is good. Reboot blocker, very good. And delete all. End of all turns, delete all Digimon with the lowest level. Could be really good and powerful in purple decks as well, simply because it's all Digimon. So not just your opponent's one, but also your own Digimon, which makes it pretty strong. Yeah, and of course the fact that you can Digivolve from trash with your Dexdoru. You just mentioned that the Dexdoru line had a lot of support, BT16 and stuff. I'm really on the fence about this. I think just like what we talked about the Talmon loop, this can go any way you like to slice it. I think it's a solid 3, this card.
I have to give it 4. Just because, I mean, even though I played against the Dexdoru Gora deck and gotten beaten by it so many times, this definitely goes hand in hand with that deck. 100%. I think this is definitely only was released for that deck because let's say if their Digimon gets deleted by this Death X effect, they have that in trash protection to Digivolve into their Dex line to save itself. So definitely have to give it a 4 for that deck.
Again, talking about immunity and protection. It's the theme of this podcast. Yeah, 4. I still think it's 3. 4, I can see it. Yeah, I can see that. I don't disagree with you. I just don't agree with you just yet. Next card. Cool Boy. Weird card. Royal Knight support. Finally, again, for the people who want it.
I mean, we've already seen 7 Great Demon Lords rise up, right? It's time for the Royal Knights to save the digital world again.
I thought they would, yeah, save the digital world, but try and destroy ours. But yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is,
save it in their way. I guess even though it looks bad our side, it's their way of saving it.
Right. I don't know. It's 3-star for me as well. I think it could be 4 or 5-star. Royal Knights is very strong. My friend Geese sent me a TikTok about some guy playing Royal Knights with the new support, and he could just OTK in turn 3, and that's pretty strong. You have to have a great
Yeah.
hand though. But yeah, the fact that it's possible makes it very strong as a card, as a archetype.
Yep, I definitely agree with you on that 3 rating there. Going back to all the decks that I've mentioned I was going to make with the new set coming out, this deck actually was recommended to me by one of my friends. He said that you should definitely give Royal Knights a try with the support that's coming out for it. So, hey, maybe you'll catch me playing Royal Knights. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. I don't like the deck in general. I don't dislike it as well. It's just tedious to play against. Getting rid of the rating and going into the next card that is filled with keywords, just like I mentioned earlier. That's something Bandai is doing right now. It is filling their cards up with keywords. This time we are talking about Cephagomon, and just for this sake, I think I like the regular art more. Piercing, Vortex, Blocker. When any Digimon suspends, Digimon may unsuspend, so giving it pseudo reboot, I guess. On play when digivolving, so it has an on play effect that which is really strong, of course. You may suspend one Digimon, then for every 2 suspended Digimon, you may return one of your suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Strong, and I think it could give the Cephagomon the edge, maybe the edge that they needed. And I, just for the sake of it, because it is a Liberator card, and I think Liberator should be rewarded for the way that they are going about, I would give it a 4. Also because it's a deck you have to master, and I respect that. I respect that you have to master this deck, and I respect you if you can master this deck.
It just seems like our rating in the past few cards here have all been the same, because I was definitely going to give it a 4 as well. Because, I mean, it is an ace card, but you also got to look at, it has an on play. It has Vortex, so it could attack that turn at the end of your turn. Plus Piercing, and it can suspend opponent's Digimon as well. And then for every 2 suspended Digimon return, one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. So it definitely goes strong against a deck that goes wide. So you'll definitely be able to suspend a lot there. And it unsuspends itself, so it has blocker as well. So I would say it's a pretty strong ace card here.
Yeah, pretty much. I think, well, we'll agree with this one. 4-drop, definitely. We are almost out of Digimon. We will talk about Omnimon with a beret, because it is French. Omnimon. Blue, white, red. If you attack sideways, then you get the Dutch, the flag of the Netherlands, where I'm from. Red, white, and blue. Strong. Take point. Let me know what are you thinking about Omnimon?
With the Royal Knight support of that cool boy, and I'm just biased because Omnimon is always at a place in my heart and one of my favorite Digimon. I have to give it a 5.
5-star. Besides the bias that I definitely share with you, because I like Omnimon a lot. I mean, like, look at that deck list video that I made on my channel. Put so much work in it. That's not something I do for every deck. Besides the bias, the potential that it has, tell me, why is it such a strong card?
It's a board clearer, just like I feel like the Omni Ace that came out in BT17. Being able to choose one of your opponent's Digimon and delete the rest, and then return one is definitely an extremely strong point there. Also, it at the end of the turn, it gains rush and it's able to attack without suspending. The big part there is attack without suspending, because then you have a body on board that has blocker. On top of that, when you're attacking, if you're attacking one of their Digimon, it has piercing. Also, it has raid. I mean, you could attack an unsuspended. So all of that together, it's an extremely strong card there. I mean, in Royal Knights, it's definitely going to be even stronger because if you look at this ace card, it's level 7 with a 16 play cost. I'm sure in Royal Knights, they're able to reduce play cost. So you're definitely going to be able to play this for a lot less than that. So yeah, definitely a 5.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a 5. I would give it a 4 just because I'm comparing it with Jesmon. Sorry, not Jesmon. No, I don't want to talk about Jesmon. Alphamon. I think Alphamon has more dedicated support, so it's easier to go into Alphamon. Alphamon also is an ace, so you can reduce the cost easier when you would play it into Royal Knights, the Royal Knights archetype. But I do agree. I love Omniman. That's for one. Second is the alt art is fire. Third is I love that a card or archetype, if it's Omniman, it's Omniman. If it's call any out, if it's Volcanomon, it's Volcanomon. I don't really care. As long as that archetype has its own identity, then I'm all up for it. And I think that this Omnimon X-antibody has its own identity. Omnimon cards in general do actually, they all do the same with a different flavor, but they always stay true to that identity that it has. Having Rush like Omni for game, having the ability to bottom deck and delete other things. It's something that the BT17 Omnimon did and something that the BT1 Omnimon did. So, yeah, I like this a lot. I definitely would give it a 4, and I understand that you give it a 5. I just think Alphamon is stronger. So, gauging it off Alphamon, I would give it a 4.
Definitely a fair rating there. I mean, if you look at the Royal Knights deck, what was the one card that actually set them off to be able to go for game? And it was always Omnimon. So
the general,
Evo, yeah.
Yeah. And the last, we're gonna end off on a bit of a sad note, a bit of a bummer. It's I think we should have discussed that earlier. I think we skipped it, but we cannot skip it in this video, of course. We are talking about the let me get rid of Omnimon here real quick. We are talking about our friend, or not friend, Shoutmon. Like I said, dead on arrival because of the medieval Gallantmon. No, yeah. There are ways to get around this card with floodgates and stuff, and I just don't. I hope there are ways around this deck, because I don't want to see this deck. I hate Shoutmon decks because they do so much and they have rush and they can repeatedly play out their Digimon, and you never seem to get rid of it. It's almost like they have, here we go again, immunity, because even if you get rid of it, they save and then they can play out of the tamer. So I would give it a 2 because I think the deck is too convoluted, and I think there are definitely stronger decks around, but you never know with Crosshearts. Crosshearts can somehow always surprise you.
For me, I would definitely have to give it a safe rating of 3 because myself, I don't know too much about how the deck works. But I mean, on top of that, this card can only be played by on playing. So that's what confused me. I mean, you can Digicross, but like you don't Digivolve. I guess that's how it is in the anime, but I don't know. You're not able to attack with it. Maybe there's other ways of it gaining a way to be able to like attack the turn it gets played, but yeah, I have to give it a safe rating for now at a 3.
Yeah, just to give a quick little explainer, all of the Shoutmon, almost all of the Shoutmon have Rush Inherit, and yeah, if you Digicross -2 for every card that you put in, you can go up to a maximum of 10, and that's very easy to do in the Crossheart decks. And then you only pay 1 to play it out, and if you have Rush with the Shoutmon, which you probably will have, yeah, then it's go time. Plus it has Alliance, Reboot, Material Save 4. The Alliance is very funny because on play you get to play out a Shooting Starmon from under your Tamers without paying the cost. So that Shooting Starmon is already, I think, 4 or 5,000 DP. So you Alliance 2 checks, 17k with a lot of other things because of the inherent effects from Sea Greymon, Ballistamon, Darulamon, Raptor, Sparrowmon. So there's merit to this deck. I think a 3-star is not bad. I think a 3-star is honest and it's realistic. I also feel like a 2-star is realistic because other decks will outshine it, and Medieval Gallantmon is still a thing, and Floodgates are still a thing. That was it for the cards. Man, can you believe it that we are already 30 minutes longer than we did last podcast?
Hey, and that's okay. We had a lot to talk about. Definitely because of this set is a pretty big one. I mean, it's the same as what released Special Booster 2.0.
True.
But this is actually I want to say a bigger one because this unifies us with Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. So
no, not yet. Not yet.
We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. So definitely a lot of cards that we could not talk about in this discussion. So I felt like it was going to definitely be a long video.
Yes, and last time we did talk about all the goodies that you can get from buying a box. Because of the time constraints we have right now, I just want to apologize that we're not going to discuss it, and I would like to tell people to just go to the website, advise people to go to a website, because there are a few cool things that you can get with a purchase of a booster box. Going up next, we're gonna talk about the ban prediction. So let's head on over to a new screen and
off the top of my head, just by looking, a lot of people have been complaining about Jack Raid. A lot of people. Definitely. Me playing Purple Hybrid myself. I mean, it's not only Purple Hybrid that plays this card, because a lot of purple decks able to increase their trash size pretty easily. So they'll be able to utilize Jack Raid efficiently. But just the fact that Purple Hybrid is able to cycle Jack Raids multiple times, I feel like this card is definitely going to get hit. So that's definitely one of the cards.
Hey, it's Zach from the future here. Sorry guys, I messed up the audio on this part of the video. So at first Johnny was speaking with me, but I don't respond. That's because my mic isn't set up. And later on, I accidentally got the webcam mic instead of the HyperX Quadcast. So yeah, weird stuff. But as Bob Ross would say, this is a happy accident. I forgot to thank Johnny for putting so much time and effort into the podcast and linking his socials down below. Please check out his videos and content. He's uploading on the regular, and he's just such an okay guy. It's a small effort, but a big gesture to leave a like and a subscribe on his channel as well. Alright, on with the video. And apologies in advance. Enjoy the rest of the video.
I think you might have muted it right down there where the speaker is.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did mute it. Alright, so that was a bit of a technical difficulty here, but I'm gonna reiterate what I was saying. So this quote here
This card has been used in decks that include blue cards for a long time, but the increased variety of cards available now allows for more card drawing, making it possible to have multiple cards in the hand and use them consecutively in one turn. As a result, it has become easier to speed up the game, widening the gap between decks that can use this card and others. For the above reasons, we have decided to restrict this card to 1 per deck. This is the quote that Bandai did for Hammerspark, but I already showed the other cards on screen that I think this should be for all of these cards that are that I'm showing on screen right now. And hear me out for Parabolic Junk. Parabolic Junk is a card that hasn't almost never, I think never ever seen the daylight after it was unpacked. But I think I did use it once in a deck, and I think it can be very strong. Definitely because we have black purple now. This card says that on deletion, this card gains main. One of your Digimon gains on deletion, gain 2 memory until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you could technically pop this onto a blocker. If you block and get deleted, you will gain 2 memory, stealing back a turn, which could be strong. But you could also just swing into security with a rookie, or into a Digimon with a rookie that you just gave Parabolic Junk to just give yourself +2 memory. And of course, we've seen the combination of black purple. And what does purple do? They kill off their own Digimon and they gain memory for it. Why not get Parabolic Junk into the mix as well if you're already running black purple cards? So I think Bandai should, with this statement that they made, should get rid of restricted cards in general. Because every deck has draw power right now. Every deck has search power. So with this statement here, where they say you can consecutively get draw into these cards, and I think it was Vortex TCG who said that. He was playing Numemon after the ban list, and he could still find all his cards because he can just easy cycle. So he could get the one-offs. It's no problem to get the one-offs. And I think that's a problem for everything. You don't want to, and it's also, I personally get quite salty when I lose to the one-off.
And I mean, going back to Bandai's statement there, yeah, you're totally right on that point, because their statement, it fits for the rest of the cards that you showed there. So, I mean, if that statement fits, why aren't all the other memory gaining option cards getting hit? I honestly should definitely take that Gravity Crush off.
Yeah. So that's something. For me also, I think there are a few cards that are gonna get hit, and there are a few cards that I would like to see hit. So I think the memory cards are gonna get hit. That's the thing, and I think they are going to laugh at my opinion to get Parabolic Junk get hit. But nevertheless, fix this real quick. Yeah. Nevertheless, I would love to see few cards get hit, and that's this duo of XVmon and Stingmon. We discussed it last podcast as well, that the Davis-Ken tamer is very annoying, but the thing is, you have to get that tamer out. Getting your XVmon and Stingmon out is not a problem. They print you the 2 memory, plus you gain memory from the Davis-Ken 2, so you're printing 4 memory. And then the partition from Paildramon, you get to play these cards out again, and then you'll gain another 2 memory when DNA Digivolve. I think this is a problem this duo is a problem. And I think you can nerf the Imperial Demand hate that I have for it as well. But just getting rid of these two.
I agree with you on the XV mon, but the Sting mon, not so much, because it's already not being played as much as the XV mon in the deck. Just because of probably the piercing is not as important as the jamming. I mean, even though you do have that partition, it's just being able to protect yourself for the battle with security cards, because partition doesn't protect that. So
Yep.
I feel like XVmon getting hit will definitely slow down Imperial Shaman just a little bit more. But I personally think the double color tamer has to get hit.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just want the deck to be more fair. For the viewers at home, I'm really sorry. I just now found out that I had the mic set up from the webcam on this view. So if the sound quality is bad, I'm sorry about that. Right now I do have the normal mic that I always use. But yeah, mistakes happen. Next card that I would like to see get hit is Bauman. It does. Why does this card have once per turn? Like, why? The whole stick of purple is trashing things, right? Why can you? It's like student loans way back when in the Netherlands here. Like in the Netherlands, we had student loans when you would succeed and get your diploma, the state would just pay off your student loans. And this feels like that era of the Dutch school system. Because, yeah, you digivolve for the cost. So you can digivolve again for the cost, and you can digivolve again for the cost. Then you play out Kazuchimon, and then you DNA, and then you just set back the memory to 2. You were saying that Takumi Kazuchi was top 16 almost every format since it released, and I think the deck is overtuned. I think it's not fun to play against because they're just playing solitaire. They're showing their deck for like 8 minutes straight, and then say, "Oh yeah, by the way, GG, I got game." So yeah, please, I would love to see Bauman get hit.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, going back to blue again, Bukamon got hit, right? The jamming, I absolutely, up to this point, I don't understand why that card got banned over this as well. I mean, this not once per turn is, I want to say, definitely really broken. So yeah, I agree with you. This card definitely does need to get hit. I mean, even though Takumi Kazuchi is like topping, I mean, it's a good chunk here and there, but it definitely has to get hit.
Yeah, just for more healthy gameplay.
It's just that not being once per turn, being able to go up to your line pretty quickly is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, true. So next one that I don't want to get hit in general, but I wouldn't mind if it would get hit, but I think Bandai is considering it, is Ukomon. I think Ukomon is a very strong card. It was a good card that helped out a lot of decks that were struggling, but the thing is, it accelerated the decks that were already doing well. So you're fixing a problem with a problem, if I say it correctly like that. I wouldn't mind if Ukomon got hit. I would love for it to stay as well. I'm indecisive on this one, but I think this could be, I could see and imagine Bandai hitting this.
I really hope that it doesn't get hit. This is one of the cards that I absolutely don't think should get hit, just because if we just have both of the Ukomons get hit altogether, we're crippling a lot of decks that requires their, like, say hybrid. Hybrid is one of the big decks that uses the Ukomons for their searches from their level 3s. Mainly just purple hybrid, because then if this gets hit, I don't think we'll see purple hybrid at all, maybe. But this is one of the way that definitely helps with searching through the deck. I mean, it's purple already, so we'll be able to cycle through our deck.
It would be funny though if this it would be very funny if this got hit, because then big Ukomon will never see the light of day. It doesn't already, but then it's unplayable.
Yep, it's just another card that Bandai prints that doesn't get played.
Yeah. All right, so let's not whack around the bush anymore. There's one card that everyone wants us to discuss, I guess, and I want to discuss it as well. It's Mirage Gaugumon. I think it'd be good and healthy if it got hit, because it can steal turns and stuff like that. If it's been since BT11, it's been topping, especially since BT13 when it got more support. People are just tired, and I think it's all Bandai's fault, because why would you restrict Bukamon but then proceed on printing several, not just one, several, I think it was like 3 or 4 blue rookie cards that give jamming, just inherit jamming, general effect, no if, buts, or maybes, no questions asked, no need to pay anything for the jamming. No, it's just bomb jamming. There you go. Now you have your Pokemon back.
Oh, yes. I have been saying this for so long. Mirage Gaugumon definitely needs to get hit, because the fact that there's so many Mirage players that just sits on their level 6. The big thing with how the Digimon card game is played is you absolutely have to cycle through your deck to find your pieces. There's definitely no way around that, and you're going to have to add cards into your hand, and that just extremely benefits that Mirage player. And this is probably the first card game I've ever played where you're not actually picking up your deck and searching for a specific card from effect from another card. The only way of searching your deck is revealing X amount of cards and adding it to your hand. And it just makes it a lot harder when you're trying to find a specific piece, and if you're not hitting it through revealing that X amount of cards, it just slows you down even more. So I agree, this card needs to get hit, and quick.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was at the European finals, and the number 1 player, the one who took all the games and the number 1 trophy, who is a voice actor for the Spanish Mickey Mouse, by the way, just a random thing that he does. He was picking Mirage Gaugumon just to show off to Bandai that it's an unfair deck, unfair card, and his friends in the audience were there as well, and the camera actually got a shot of the audience of his friends, and they all were holding signs with ban Mirage. So the whole player base seems to be unified about Mirage Gaugumon being an unfair card, and I think Bandai should do something about it. I also think the statement that I put on earlier, with the statement that Bandai made themselves, I think there should be no such thing as a restricted card. I think they just have to outright ban something with the draw power that we have right now, and otherwise I think there should be a safety net there. I believe it was Pokemon, the Pokemon trading card game, who had A-spec cards, or cards that were one-time use only, and then they were lost to the game. You cannot recycle those cards. You cannot bottom deck those cards. You cannot top deck those cards. You can only, when you use it, it's gone. So if Bandai wants to do anything about restricted cards, then either do that or do Banlist. Just ban it. I think that's all said and done. We have two topics left, and one is the reveals. And let's go by them. We don't want to talk about them for too long. Wait, I just found away your icon. Cardboard is here. Where is our friend Mirage? Mirage is here. So we were talking about reveals. There are some reveals for the new starter decks. Naming, let's go for Ty and Izzy first. These are some reveals that we can give the card game a whole new archetype. It has the adventure trait. So there's going to be an adventure archetype. Your turn, when any Digimon card with the adventure trait would be played from your hand by suspending this tamer, reduced by 1. And opponent's turn, all of your Digimon with the adventure trait gain blocker. So pretty much what Izzy and Ty would do. I think it's it suits them. The other cards that are doing so as well are the Joe and Mimi, reducing and gaining memory. Sora and Kari are doing the exact same thing, reducing and gaining memory. And then we have, which is really cool, because then you see the difference between the styles that Matt and Ty have in the Digimon franchise. Like the Wolf was more agile, so your turn, all turns, all of your level 5 or higher Digimon with the adventure trait gain rush, and of course you get the reduced play cost by 1 with the other effect. Whereas Ty gives blocker because he's the beefy, stronger guy. Matt has the Digimon that is more agile, so it gets rush. So I think it's archetype appropriate. Yeah, what are your thoughts about this this archetype?
Really happy where they're trying to go with this archetype, especially with how in the anime was they were unified in the end to help with defeating the bad. And I feel like this is a good step towards that direction to be able to run all of these tamers in a deck together. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I mean, I do enjoy them solely by themselves, but I do want to see more of them working together, just like how they did in the show.
Yeah, definitely. And what brings me to the next two cards, actually, it is the Metal Greymon. Let's see if I can find my notes here. So Metal Greymon on play when digivolving to one of your opponent's Digimon, de-digivolve 1 for every 2 of your tamer's colors. So you de-digivolve 1, but if you have all the tamers, you can de-digivolve 4. Your turn, when your other Digimon are played or digivolve, if any of them have the adventure trait, one of your Digimon gains alliance for the turn, then one of your Digimon may attack, which is really cool because the Matt said that you're level 5 with adventure trait, which is Metal Greymon, gain rush, and you can actually, if you look at this is the new Tie Tamer. The new Tie Tamer is very interesting as well because it's a memory setter. When one of your Digimon attacks by suspending this tamer, draw 1. But its main is very funny. Main, once per turn, you may play 1 adventure or hero trait card with a play cost of 2 or less from your hand without paying the cost. For each of your tamer's color, add up to 1 to this FX play cost maximum. So if you have this tie plus a dual tamer, you already can play a Digimon with a play cost of 4. But then return this tamer to the bottom of the deck, which is very anime accurate because in the saga with Adamon, Metal Greymon would finally digivolve. Greymon would finally digivolve in Metal Greymon, get rid of Adamon, but then Tai and Greymon both did the Avatar stick when the world needed it most. They vanished. So bottom decking Tai is definitely a reference to that scene, I think, because they got sucked up to a digital gate, going back in time to their hometown.
Yep, and I agree. I really like how they stick pretty closely to the shows with how the card game is, and that's really what really kept me going with playing Digimon. I just like how it is, and then also going back to the tamer and the play cost. You get to play a 4 cost or less for free, and then just keep in mind that potentially that Metal Greymon that you showed, you could potentially play that for free, because you can reduce the cost as well. Don't forget about that. I don't know how that works with this white tamer tie. If you're gonna if you're able to reduce the cost first and then play by the main, I don't know. I don't think it works like that, but
no, I don't think so as well. But yeah,
but I feel like you could definitely get to that point where you could potentially play that Metal Greymon for free for sure.
Yeah. I forgot to include 2 of the starter deck rookies. It's Gabumon and Agumon, which have the effect to. I'm just gonna read it out here if I can find it real fast. Let's see.
I have it pulled up for you, Zach. I can read it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, could you do that for me?
Yeah. So for Agumon, your turn. While your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 DP or more, or your tamers have 3 or more total colors, this Digimon can Digivolve into War Greymon in the hand for a Digivolution cost of 4, ignoring Digivolution requirements. Effectively, Gabumon is pretty much the same. Yeah. Definitely the same, but for Metal Garurumon.
Yeah, I think in post I will edit these cards into the scene, but what is really cool about these cards is I see Omnimon support here, because if you have most of the time you have Memory Setter Tai, and you have a dual color Matten Tai. So you definitely have that requirement of your tamers have 3 or more total colors. So you can easily go into BT17 War Greymon or Metal Garurumon. Matten Tai EX4 triggers. You can, because you Digivolve, you can play out the counterpart. Then you trigger the when Digivolving off the BT17 level 6 to Digivolve your level 3 into a level 6 of that archetype. So War Greymon Digivolves the Gabumon into Metal Garurumon or vice versa. And then you can go for it. You can just DNA. I love this. I will buy the star decks just for these cards.
Hey, I'm definitely all for the Omnimon support. Like you, I have that exact same deck when it came out in BT17 for the support. Sadly, just like a majority of my decks, it was one that did not get to see play. So with the support, hopefully we get to see more of it played, and maybe I'll post a battle video of it on my channel. But yeah, definitely excited for the support for Omnimon and can't wait to play it.
Yeah, me too. And I think this is all that we want to discuss about the reveals. There are already more reveals, but I think that's a discussion for another podcast. And I would like to congratulate you, man. It's we've been doing this podcast for almost 2 hours straight now. In 15 seconds, we'll be doing it 2 hours straight, and it feels like we're only talking like 20 minutes.
Hey, and we definitely had a lot to talk about. We were able to talk to each other back and forth, bounce ideas, and I really enjoy this podcast so far.
Yeah, me too. I think that's it's a fun podcast, and I do have to say it's coming to an end right now. I just have to check if my audio is right. My audio is right, and let's discuss our last thing that we've been preluding to this whole podcast, actually, and that is immunity. Is this a good thing? So I have it on screen right now. Just gonna check my microphone real quick again. Yes, it's still the right microphone. So a quick little run around about immunity. It started off very niche with the War Greymon having a immunity to security effects for the turn when it was digivolving, so that you could do the actual checks real quick. Then Omnimon had it as well, because you could trash the source, the level 6, to not be deleted, although Omnimon would rather go for game than leave it on field. Machinedramon did something with immunity by being able to trash 2 sources when it would be deleted and immune to minus DP. But you had to work for it. It's not something that you just willy-nilly gave to any card. But then we did give it willy-nilly to every card. When we gave it willy-nilly to every card, when you would do this, you would get a free mini fridge with it, because Lightning Ray, Awakening of the Golden Knight, they would give it all for free. It would all help you out, and nowadays everybody gets it. We have Gallimon X, we have Aegisdramon, we discussed Justimon, and the thing is that the immunity is something that can have a recursion. Like Aegisdramon has a specific way how it is immune to things, and I almost always feel like when I'm reading the text of how to get rid of it, I feel like I'm reading it has to be a Saturday and you have to wear 2 different colored socks to be able to play your game, and only when the rain is not falling vertically down but upwards. That's how you get rid of the Aegisdramon. Same with Gallimon X. Gallimon X is more simplistic, but it pretty much has life insurance. What a cool thing though is about these immunities, it's immunity to Digimon effects. So you can cancel that subscription of immunity by just playing good old option cards. And for me, I think immunity is balanced if it's just for Digimon effects, and I like the direction Bandai is going by utilizing option cards more, because up until now and maybe BT1, option cards, and of course security control, but option cards aren't really a thing. Option cards only are being played to excel your gameplay, but not to decelerate your opponent's gameplay. And I think with the high play cost that options nearly almost all of the time, I'm at a loss for words. It's almost been 2 hours. Which option cards almost often have. The high play cost is been reduced because of the ace mechanic, the overflow mechanic, that you can get back a lot of memory by playing option cards, which makes it balanced. So I think we're going into a direction where we can use removal option cards more often than just the 2 of. But then we have one last thing to talk about, because we have one of the biggest offenders, which why people dislike the immunity, and that is Magnamon X, because it's just immune, period. Not by Digimon effects, not by option cards, the whole shebang. And that's something that people are disliking. By coincidence, I actually saw your last video that you posted, and in the background, and someone said it in the comments section as well in your last video, it was Magna X against Purple Hybrid. Some guy was going off about how Magna X has no interaction, and although he was cussing it out and stuff, I kind of agree with him that it's not fun to have no interaction with a card. But right now I feel like everything except for Magna X, all the immunity cards, if you would like to call them like, that, are pretty balanced. What are your opinions? Because you play Magna X.
So from the point of view of a Magna X player myself, immunity overall, I would say I agree that it's balanced. On Magna X, oh yeah, totally. I 100% think it's balanced. I mean, people already quickly found a way to get around Magnum immunity by placing effects that are duration until the end of your opponent's turn to be able to get rid of it. On top of that, you're able to also swing over it as long as you have more DP. And it seems like there's a lot of cards nowadays that definitely surpass that threshold of being higher DP than the Magna X. But yeah, people already quickly found a way around it with redirecting. People found out that redirecting doesn't affect the Digimon, it affects the player. So Tyrant is really strong suit against the Magna X, to where the point of Magna X players have to Tekken Huankumon just to have their attacks not be redirected. But yeah, there's definitely ways around Magna X. If Magna X was definitely a problem, we would definitely see more of that deck till today, current format, but that is definitely not the case. So, I mean, yeah, he's raging over that one card, but you definitely could get around it. He was playing Rapid X at the time. Rapid X has Alliance and Mega Gargo Ace on top of that, so yeah. Honestly, all the people who are raging about Magna X, I think that they just either don't know how to get around the card themselves yet, or I don't know what else they're thinking, but you could definitely get around Magna X.
I do think that Magna X in particular is that's why it's called the biggest offender. is a bit overtuned, but I do understand. You are right. A lot of Digimon are getting Alliance. Because when you said you can just swing over it, I thought, yeah, right, swing over it when it's 18,000 DP. But with Alliance, you should definitely can get over it. And the thing is that Magna X, of course, only triggers when something is removed from security. But option cards, where we were talking about earlier, if they get hit in security, they go off before the game sees the state of something being removed. So you have to finish that effect first before the gameplay reads the card as removed from security. So that's something that could definitely help out. Yeah.
So playing as I've always only played V Armor's Magna X. It was around the time also when Yellow Vaccine was a thing. And honestly, that is probably why they got hit. Yellow Vaccine got hit because they're able to manipulate and use Magna X immunity constantly and not be afraid to swing into security because of their effects, to be able to remove cards from their own security, to be able to activate Magna X immunity right off the bat for free. That is probably why people were raging about the card, but after the hit on Yellow Vaccine, you just don't see Magna X up there as often as I would like, especially since I blinged out the deck.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, like I said, I think that the game is in a healthy game state right now. I still think Magna X is a bit overtuned, but I think there, like you said, there are definitely ways to get around it, and people are moving on. I don't think Magna X is been played that much anymore since BT16. BT17, I think people were already also moving on to other things. So yeah, right now I'm okay with all the immunity. I think it's just a new game state. and we'll go on to the next one. What that game state will be, we have to see, because I want to end this podcast off with something cool. If I can find it though. Is it this? This? No. Reveal. This one is it. Get rid of the border. So, I know we talked about reveals earlier, but I wanted to end the podcast off with a few things. First of all, thank you so much for being on the podcast again. It's currently, I think, 3 a.m. at your place?
It is currently 5 a.m. my place.
5 a.m. And we've been doing it for 2 hours straight. So, yeah, 3 a.m. when we started. Also because of me, because of some of the technical difficulties. But I love that you are willing to do this with me. I always think it's a chill vibe. We can discuss a lot of things respectfully listen and to our opinions. And like I said, a lot of people who did listen did enjoy it a lot. And I would like to thank those people for making it so that we are motivated to do this. Ending off with the note on this last reveal that we have for you guys. You probably have seen it, but if you haven't, this is been revealed for,
exactly.
I think, yeah.
Before you go into that, I just want to say thank you again for having me on your channel. Like you said, I really enjoy doing these podcasts with you. That's the only reason why. I mean, I'm still here at 5 a.m. And last but not least, I don't think the viewers at home are able to see what you're showing currently.
Ooh, that's a good point you got there. I have to click the button. Thank you for keeping me sharp, man.
Got you. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here together.
These cards have been revealed for EX9, and we already discussed it yesterday late at night when we were preparing for this podcast. First of all, tell the viewers at home what you were seeing when you saw this.
When I saw that, the one thing that immediately caught my attention was the border. It immediately definitely brought me back to their pendulum digivices. Definitely a nostalgic factor right there. And secondly, if you guys take a look at the bottom left corner where the inherent effects is supposed to be, if you guys look at that icon, that design right there, it is that 8-bit style that you see on those digivices. So very nice attention to detail by Bandai for sure. I overall love the design of these cards.
Yeah, me too. They look fantastic, and they're great for collectors, and I hope they are great for the meta, because I am, of course, a Machinedramon player, and I'm really excited to see what these these cards will do. They are the original 5 components used for Machinedramon. We know that there is going to be an archetype set of cards that are only the enemy cards of the enemy Digimon from other media, with Machinedramon being one of them. And what is really cool, and I want to give this pro tip to people at home, if you have BT9 Maki, if you don't have BT9 Maki, make sure to get them real quick. BT9 Maki is a tamer card that costs 3. On play, search a dual color black Digimon, which are all of these. And I cannot imagine Machinedramon not being the new Machinedramon that has not been revealed. I can't imagine it's not going to be revealed. Cannot imagine him being a dual color. But also, the Maki Tamer will reduce the Digivolution cost by 1 by tapping it. So you have search and discount. Just a pro tip for you there. And with that, I would love to thank you, Johnny, for being on the podcast. And I would love to end the podcast right here and now.
See you next time on Sack of All Trades, reminding you to keep it classy.